Welcome to Hass Discusses. I'm the host, Mike Hass, joined with producer Mormon. So,
Man.
yeah, man, I just about to interview you. Got some questions prepared. Sit back, relax, and if you're listening on any podcast platforms such as Apple or Spotify, leave a review or rating, any of that cool shit. Make me look credible and shit. Anyways, so you're on East Coast time. Where are you from? Cause
Yes, sir. I am from the I would say wonderful, but it's definitely not wonderful city of Parkersburg, West Virginia, man.
West Virginia. I just saw a movie set in West Virginia, that Devil All the Time thing.
Oh yeah. I started it. I haven't finished it yet, but I
Dude,
started it on Netflix the
it's
other day.
fucking brutal. There's like necrophilia and shit. It's
Ah,
disgusting. It's disgusting. But I hope it's not like that movie. But I'm joking.
yeah.
Anyways,
You get a bad name, but it is pretty bad, not gonna lie.
yeah, I used to hate my hometown, and then I realized like appreciate local talent and start to interact with local artists. You don't always have to move to fucking Hollywood to be an artist. You know what I mean? Just
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Yes, sir.
the local
Where you from,
people.
man?
From Delaware, right
Oh,
near.
good shit, good shit.
Sometimes I just say Philly because it's like 40 minutes away from me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm very tapped into the Philly scene. Like I was listening to Lil Uzi in like 2014, 2013. Like
Nice, nice.
yeah, but I listened to him from like another local Philly artist, but like named
That's
Core.
cool.
Yeah, it's just like, but he sounded similar but different. But like now he has this sort of techno inspired type of music. Like it almost sounds like a soundtrack to the Matrix. His type of music, and that's why I always fuck
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Uzi. He has a sound, and yeah. So you make many type beats and you put these on YouTube. You have cool like little animated visuals. Like how
Yes,
long do
sir.
those
Make
animated
those myself.
visuals take? Like that shit looks like I've
Uh,
tried to do that before for my podcast and I realized just show my face. But like how long does shit take?
for me now, when I first did it, it probably took me like 20, 30 minutes, but now I can cook one up in like 5 minutes just because there's a stock plugin in FL Studio called Z Game Visualizer, and it does most of the work for me, especially once you know the presets. Like, you just lay
Five
it
minutes
down.
for the beat or the visual?
The visual.
Okay. We're gonna go on the beats in a minute. So you do you pick Simpsons ones every now and then, but like and you distribute them to Spotify and Apple through DistroKid. I know
Yes,
that.
sir.
I figured it out. Cause you can like look up auto generated shit and find what distributed it. Anyways, so we first like quote unquote met after you swiped up on my story and called on the show podcast about a month ago to discuss the NLE Choppa album.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
fire.
sir.
Yeah, so what do you think of his spiritual sort of journey? Like have you tapped in,
I don't know.
analyzed it?
It's interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, no shade at like my big cousin, but it's kind of the shit my big cousin's been doing. But my big cousin's also like meth head, so I'm wondering if bro is like trying crack now or something. Like I worry for his health, but
That could be
you
like
know,
if you're going this sort of spiritual route, like that would be associated with like more psychedelic drugs. So like if he's like starting to see things, like, you know, I could see that. But I'm actually interested to see how his music's gonna change. Do you think his music's gonna be better or different? Like I saw a
I don't
snippet,
know because
like
like
he's
I don't
unpredictable.
know if I listen to Choppa, I'm like getting like hyped up. Like that's like my Chief Keef style music. Like I'm getting hyped up to like
Yeah,
beat somebody's ass or something. Like I don't
yeah,
want to listen to Choppa and like be
chakra.
talking about the afterlife or something. Like
Yeah. Well, yeah, he obviously has that Chief Keef Waka Flocka Gucci Mane inspired beat selection as well as the music video style. I could even say Boozy inspired a lot of his music videos. I would say Boozy's underrated in terms of like he had like that one music video from 2009. I forget the name of it, but it was that whole like music video where everybody's in the street with like 30 people around them looking at the camera pointing guns. That was pioneered by that late 2000s, early 2010s thing. And obviously, Elite Choppa is sort of I like that he knows his inspiration. He's got that Lex Luger inspired beat.
Oh
Yeah, Lex Luger, dude.
yes
Flockavelli.
sir.
Without like Flockavelli is one of the most influential albums. Like, you know what I mean? That I go hard in the motherfucking paint. You know what I mean? Um,
Definitely got that up in your face vibe.
yeah, it's workout music. That's how I've
Yes
always
sir.
described it. It's workout music. Like, you're you're benching 150 or whatever, and like, get you tapped in your savage side. Anyways, so you might have already mentioned this, but again, I'd like to hear what digital audio workspace do you use?
I use FL Studio, which is really nice. I definitely like it, especially since I've only been doing this for like 9 months now. So a lot of people like Ableton Live, but FL Studio is nice to start out on because Ableton Live is more complicated, at least from what I've heard. FL Studio has a very basic interface. It's really easy to navigate.
Yeah.
Um, I started on a. It's kind of funny. You talk about dolls because it's definitely not everything. Like if you want to make music, you don't have to go out and spend $200 on FL Studio Producer Edition like I did. Like I started on a $20 doll called Magic's Music Maker, which to be fair, my beats weren't very good at the start, but I mean, I learned a lot of stuff. Like
You're
that's what
you're
I
ranking
started with.
yourself up in terms of your software. So one day you'll be at
Yeah,
Ableton.
yeah. And Ableton's a lot more expensive. Ableton is probably one of the most expensive softwares to use right now.
That and Logic Pro. Well, that's only
Yeah,
used with the Max, as well as Reason. Reason's like yeah. So you start off making do with what you had, like folks with that mentality, and then you just advance yourself. So how long will you maintain the one beat a week goal, like released and made a week, one beat? How long are you
I'm
gonna do
gonna
that?
try and do it for at least a year, probably more than that. Right now, I've even been pumping out more than just one beat. I've been trying to do like 2 beats a week because Wednesdays I try and do lo-fi, and then on the weekend I do my normal like trap like type beat usually or something like that.
Or drill?
So yeah,
You've
I
been
did a
tapping
drill
in a
beat
drill.
last week.
Yeah. So besides Drake, what drill artists do you enjoy?
Uh, I mean, I don't listen to a whole lot of drill, but I like a lot of Fabio Foreign. I mean, like the New York drill type, like yeah.
Yeah. And so you'd
Pop's new
prefer
album's pretty good.
that New York drill?
What?
You prefer the New York drill?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, over Chicago drill
No, no,
or
just in
over
general.
New
Like, what
York
do you
drill?
listen to? I mean, like, what do you listen to most recently? Or
Um, I'd say shoot, I'd probably say most. I'd say Chicago drill because I listen to a lot of Lil Durk. I really like Lil Durk, but I'm pretty varied honestly. I like shoot Lil Durk, King Von are both like two Chicago drill artists that I like, and then I also listen to. I mean, he's not alive anymore, R.I.P. But Jay Osama. I like Jay Osama.
I think I might have heard
21
of 'em.
Savage. I listened to some 21 Savage. The new tape today was fire. I liked it.
Dude,
It was narrated by Morgan Freeman.
dude, that was fucking amazing. Like, that was
I know.
how it like that just shows how prestigious they are,
Honestly,
cemented into the game. And it was beautiful about drill though is that it shows how hip hop has not stayed the same since its formation in the 70s. It showed like
oh yeah, for sure.
it's just like it started off in Chicago obviously, and then moved its way to London and in England and stuff. And what's beautiful about that New York wave of drill is that it mixed the Chicago sound and the British sound and made it one. And it's just like it shows how to me that's beautiful to show how a genre can have. It's just like it's almost like rock. Like rock had so many subgenres and stuff. Like, you know, you had punk and then you had the metal and all that stuff. It's all stems from one big thing. And like,
Yeah.
you fucked with any British drill artists?
Uh, Not really. I'm gonna be honest now,
All right.
but like you said, with the change, it is kind of wild. Like the snare is like such a big like deal in drill music because like if you look at Chicago drill, uh, started off with like the normal trap snare. Like the trap snare always hits on like the 3 and the 7. If you would listen to any like trap song that's popular and it's over 100 BPM, it's always going to hit on the 3 and the 7. And then when it went over to UK, they switched it up. It hit on the 3.5 and the 7. But when it came back to New York, rappers in America have a really hard time rapping on beats where like that 3.5 is like that just sounds off when you try and rap on it. So they put it on the 3 and the 8. So and it just changes the whole vibe of the beat. Like
Yeah. It's constantly evolving.
yes, sir.
So, I mean, what would you like? A couple of drill artists I got. I don't know if you heard of these guys. Sleepy Hollow, out in
I have
New
not.
York. Well, he's cool because he mixes like that guitar style of emo rap, and then mixes that with drill, and like all of his beats kind of have the guitar, you know, loop in the background and shit, and then he mixes that more like if you heard a lot of romantic Pop Smoke songs, those are like all of Sleepy Hollow songs. And he also samples like cool like that one song like go off the deep end, just that's cool shit, soul shit. So and then there's Heady One. He did a song with Drake though. Yeah, what do you think of Drake doing drill beats? Like, do you have a strong opinion towards that,
Honestly,
negative or positive?
this is probably an unpopular opinion. A lot of people didn't like the More Life album was very controversial. I fucked with it heavy. Okay, like that was
Bro,
probably one of my favorite albums of like all time.
digital
Honestly, like
handshake, bro.
Two
Digital
Birds,
handshake.
yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Um, uh, Two Birds, One Stone is probably one of my favorite like recordings like ever made. Like I don't know if you've listened to that song by Drake,
Yeah.
but and there's a Kid Cudi diss in it, which is extremely controversial because
Yeah.
Kid Cudi was going through like a tough time at the time.
Yeah.
But I definitely think like it's just his take on like being famous and like how life is like for him now, and it's really good.
Like he's adapting like to the current climate, but he adds his like for instance, War, that song, like that's like probably my favorite Drake drill song. And also yeah, I'd agree. More Life is a probably like top 5 Drake projects. And
Weekend's probably got my favorite drill vibe to it with 21 Savage.
oh my god, yeah. So London on the Track did that beautifully.
Yes,
And
sir.
I also saw the genius on how they made it.
Genius
Anyways,
Deconstructed.
oh,
Yes,
I love
sir.
those series. That's like what got me into
Hey,
making beats because I just started like this month making beats and stuff. I'll send you some. But anyways, so with War, it has a sort of relaxed feel to it. Like what Drake successfully does in all his music is he creates a sort of relaxed, chill environment. And when he mixed that with the drill, I was like, damn, drill. I mean, Drake really took his really put a cool take on the drill thing. And I feel like you shouldn't do it all the time, but it's just cool to see him experimenting with that style and um, bringing Fabio on and all that shit. So so recently like you worked with Mel Beats. How did that go down? Like how was that? That was a cool collaboration.
he's a pretty cool guy. He's actually like kind of like my mentor. I look up to him a lot. Um, he actually went to high school with my brother. He's like I want to say he's like 23, 24. But yeah, he's from here, from Parkersburg with me, and we started like collaborating. Like he would come over and teach me some stuff, and we would hang out for a little bit, and we did that for a couple weeks. And now he lives in Akron, but we still work together,
Ohio.
and I've gotten better since like we started doing that. We started doing that like 2 months ago, probably 3 months ago, and so now I'll just send him melodies all the time, and he sends me stuff sometimes, and we just work together. And might be my melody and his drums, or vice versa, or we might just collab on a full beat. Like I just sent him a really cool like DC the Dawn type beat that I had worked on that I just didn't feel like it was complete, so I just sent him the FL Studio file, and he's gonna play around with it. And
That's cool. That's cool.
excuse me.
That's cool that like, yeah, it's just like collaboration is key. Like people want to be selfish and work by themselves. Like you can always learn something from a collaboration and shit. Like my first beat that I just made. I mean, I made beats like 3 years ago. But they were all shitty, but like now I just kind of got back into it.
Feel that I did that too.
Like, but this one, like before I got into it, he knew what he was. When I made this beat, he knew what he was doing. He knew how to do everything. What I told my friend Killzen, is that I was just like telling him the samples I wanted, like when I wanted the beat to switch and when I wanted it to change and shit. Like, what do you like? I love sampling like old shit. Like, I don't know, sampling's always fun to me. Like I sampled movie clips.
It's very difficult, but I definitely enjoy it, and I'd like to get better at it.
Yeah, I like just picking I picked like an old movie clip, and it was just this guy was like, "That's beautiful, man," and I put that right before the beat drop or something. It's just a lot of fun. I've been getting into it, but I don't know how I'm gonna go with it. I like sticking with the podcast shit. This is fun. I'm like Jimmy Fallon at this bitch, but nobody watches Jimmy Fallon no more. I'm honestly like everybody watches Joe Rogan. Like, do you like watch a lot of interviews or podcasts or any like that much?
Not that much, but usually when I do, it's usually a Joe Rogan podcast. Like I do watch me some Joe Rogan. Like I watched his I think I watched his Ben Shapiro interview and his Post Malone interview.
The Post Malone was funny. Yeah, he's such like a normal average Joe. Just likes his beer cold on Sundays and shit. Why Mormon though? Like, why are you called Mormon?
Shit, sorry.
You from Utah?
But yeah. So Mormon actually started with I have two of probably my favorite movies. Those two movies are probably The Wolf of Wall Street and Hustle and Flow. Now in Hustle and Flow, there's a producer that makes all his beats as he's trying to come up, like he's a pimp and he's trying to come up as a rapper. He's like 30 and he decides he wants to be a rapper. And there's this skinny white dude who just makes all his beats for him, right? And now he's like in the ghetto, you know. He's got all the girls at his house, you know, he's a pimp. And some white, like skinny white dude just like knocks on his door. And he opens the door and goes, "Y'all Mormons are some brave motherfuckers," because like he thinks he's like trying to, you know, solicit him to like join the church or something, but he's the producer. And so I watched a couple producers that I liked. I think maybe Kyle Beats does it, where they had sampled audio clips from movies for their tags.
Oh.
Like, actually, I think it might have been Kenny Beats. He had taken like the Phineas and Ferb, the Phineas and Ferb, and said like, "Mom, Kenny's making beats again" or something like that. So I fucked with that. So I was looking for something like my vibe. I found that audio clip from that movie, and I was like, there's some cool Mormon clips that I know I could pull from other movies. So The Simpsons is one of my favorite TV shows. So I looked up The Simpsons Mormon scene because I already knew it, where Homer opens up the door to see like aliens, and he goes, "Oh, great, Mormons." I was like, yo, that's it right there. Like, that's my tag. So.
And that's cool because it ties into your frequent use of pictures of Simpsons characters on your thumbnail of your beats and other shit. So yeah, shout out Simpsons. I love this show, but I collect the comics of this. There's like a comic line of the Simpsons that recently ended and shit. So yeah, and also like with Kenny Beast, did you listen to the Denzel Curry collaboration project?
I haven't listened to it in a minute, but yeah, I listened to it when it dropped. It was pretty fire.
So like before getting into it, if you like Mad Villainy or Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's Pinata or the Alchemists work with Currency and Freddie Gibbs, that's what it's like. Also has a lot of that Wu Tang Clan sort of comic book feel to it. A lot of cool skits and shit from like movies. Not like skits, but like clips from movies and weird like alien shit in it. Like it's very comic booky. So
Yes, sir. I fuck with Wu Tang Clan. You like Wu Tang Clan?
they made the best album of the '90s.
Bro, hold up, 1 second.
All right.
I got the vinyl album right here.
Oh shit.
First ever vinyl album I ever bought. The Essential Wu Tang Clan. It's got like 50 tracks from like all their albums.
50.
Yes, sir.
Damn. I want to get 36 chain. Everybody's like Illmatic's the greatest album of the '90s. Like it's a good album, but I'm gonna have to go with 36 Chambers. Like it's just like it's very creative, like the use of movie clips, and it's very raw. It's very like it felt like listening to it. It's like trapped in a warehouse in the middle of a city with 30 people doing acid, and in the middle of a gangbang as dogs are fighting. That's what it's like listening to that album.
Great description.
Yeah, like it's a beautiful chaos listening to that album, and it's the greatest. It's just creative. It's just it's one of the most creative rap albums ever, man. And also like I was watching this movie about like this up and coming beat maker from Chicago. It was called Beats. It was on Netflix. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I've watched that movie. It's a little
corny,
far-fetched, but I've watched it.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit like it's like it looks like a TV movie or like a animated or not like an animated show, but like it could be a very underfunded show on Netflix if they stretch it out enough.
See, my issue with it was like they advertised him like, or not advertised, but like they built up the whole movie as he was a broke kid in Chicago. His mom worked all the time. His dad died when he was younger. His sister died, and he was living in the projects. My man, if you look at his producer setup, he probably had a solid $5,000.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, bro. Like I spent half my money I had saved for a car on like my whole setup right now. I don't even have anything close to that. Okay.
Yeah, damn. Like it's just like very like yeah, that was like the whole fucking the pads and all, so much shit that he was doing. But I felt like the older guy that was helping him out. He was the best part of that movie. He was funny as shit.
For sure.
But yeah. What do you like? What would you consider to be the greatest album of the '90s?
Shit. That's a tough question. Greatest album of the '90s. Let me think. Hold up. I'm gonna pull up my Spotify here and decide.
Oh, you got stats of each
thing.
thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like Illmatic is very overrated.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Life's a Bitch is one of the greatest songs, though. I'll say that. Life's a Bitch is a great song. And Nas's new album was fire.
Yeah, I liked it.
Because it has that spicy with Fivio and Ferg. ASAP Ferg is one of the greatest MCs. I'm going to say that.
Oh, yeah, he's super underrated, too.
Yeah, they just think, he made it. Like, they just... I want to say he's better than Rocky. I'd say he's on the same caliber as Rocky. But but he just makes those trap anthems. Like, I would address... He has the thing in his bio, address me as the anthem man. Like, that's true. It's just, like, getting fucking... It's like mosh pit music. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, that new King's Disease, that Nas album, Hit Boy production. I love Hit Boy.
Bro, I forgot. We were talking about best album of the '90s. I was thinking rap, bro. I completely forgot like R&B, bro. TLC by far had like best album of the '90s, bro. Crazy Sexy Cool was like fire. Okay, like there wasn't a single miss. Like I know TLC isn't like real hard shit, but like definitely R&B in the '90s far better than current R&B. I fuck with R&B from the '90s because that's where I get all my samples from for anything basically. Just
Yeah.
'90s R&B.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. In terms of like old music that's not rap, I'm big into punk from the '80s, like early '80s punk. Like
I haven't listened to early '80s punk, but I have a couple friends that really fuck with punk from like the '80s and like '90s.
Well, I like the thing about punk is when Green Day came out, it was kind of pushed into this sort of mainstream mess. Like Green Day is good, but like they made it like pop music. It was very watered down, but punk, what very similar to how hip hop was in its early
Oh yeah,
formation. Punk was like this sort of underground. You would be embarrassed to tell someone that you like punk. Like similar to how like someone will look down on you like 10 years ago if you told them, or 20 years ago if you like rap music, because punk was this very politically charged sort of the Sex Pistols were like making songs like Anarchy in the UK, God Bless the Queen, about how fucked up the British government is, and the Dead Kennedys were talking about how the American dream ended with the Kennedy brothers and all this shit, and how everything since the 60s has been fucked up. And all this like sort of like politically charged stuff, and then it kind of became like pop stuff, similar to how with NWA and all the people in the the 80 late 80s, they had in Public Enemy, they had this very politically charged type of music. I'm not saying rap is not politically charged now. It is politically charged. Look at fucking Lil Baby. But like
yes sir.
it sometimes people get lost in the sauce of just creating like banger hard hitting music as
Yeah,
opposed to making some cool meaningful shit. And that's why we have those people like Kendrick Lamar, there's people like J. Cole, there's people like Nas, to create this cool like new politically charged cool shit. And that's why Kendrick Lamar will always go down as the greats.
yes sir.
Yeah.
I actually have a Public Enemy quote like written on my wall. I have a chalk wall with Public Enemy. I fuck with Public
They released
Enemy.
a new album last week.
For real?
Yeah, flew under the radar.
I'll have to go listen to it
Because
after
they got
this.
re-signed to their label or some shit. Like after a while, they just kind of split up and shit, and now they're all like,
Good shit. I'll have to listen to it after this
"Hey, I didn't listen to
interview.
it.
You know.
I downloaded it, but I didn't listen to it." But yeah.
So yeah, I know this is your interview, and I don't want to like be asking you the questions, but yeah, this new artist I'm collabing with. Have you heard of Yak Stevo? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not
You
gonna
probably
lie.
told me about him a couple. You probably DM me him a couple times, a couple days ago or something. I believe. But
Yeah, he's Daystar, like
yo, he's on Daystar.
he's not on Daystar. His new album Beautiful Pain is ranked higher than Daystar on Apple Music, and I actually
Free
sent
Tory,
him a
by
beat
the way.
other day. And yeah, he's gonna use one of my beats. He's ranked like I want to say like 89th or something on Apple Music albums right now. Definitely go check him out.
I'll look him up. That's
Shit's
fire.
hard.
How'd you get in touch with him?
So even before I started like producing, which was back in like, I couldn't tell you the exact date off the top of my head. I'd have to look at my calendars, but it was midterm finals like last year, so it was in late December.
Oh, I have all the shit downloaded. Yeah, the Beautiful Pain joint.
Yeah, but yeah, midterm last December. But even before that, I was like listening to underground artists just because I've always been into like, especially like the local scene and like basically any underground artist. I've always tried to find somebody that like I knew they were gonna be blowing up. So like I like to be the guy who listens to them before they were big, like because I feel like that's authentic. Like I feel like there's a lot of bandwagon people, but I like to like find good artists before they like blow up. So
Yeah.
I was following a lot of underground artists before I even started making music, and he was one of those guys that like I've been following for a long time. Same with I know you did a past reacts on him. DDK. I
DDK.
was following him for a long time before
Dude.
I ever got into it.
Was it before Is It Real?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was following him when Seven Deadly Sins dropped.
I focused with that one. That was I found him from Is It Real because the blog posts were like rap blog posts were heavily promoting Is It Real. I love that like people are starting to realize that the blogs like me, Splash Bakery, and like What Is Dropping or Rap Politics, those are what push artists to their highest.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking cares about labels. Nobody fucking cares. That's a fucking fact. Who the fuck is gonna email an A&R and be like, take my beats? Like, I guarantee, Mormon, if you email 20 of your beats to a fucking label, they're gonna use it and not give you credit. That's what's gonna happen. It's not gonna be a fucking Baby Keem scenario. Like, Baby Keem says, oh, I'm gonna email my beats, and then Top Dog Entertainment, Kendrick Lamar uses him. He's fucking Kendrick Lamar's cousin. He's an industry plant. I love his music. It's great. Orange Soda, great song. New couple of songs that came out, great fucking song. But like nobody, stick with DistroKid, Mormon, please. Don't become a fucking satanic worshiper.
Like anytime I send out beats, I don't send them to A&Rs. Like I follow a Twitter account that's like a bot that like pops up any like Twitter post that says send beats to, because I go directly to the artist emails. Like Tory Lanez would post his email and say send me beats right now. I'm in the studio on Twitter. I'd get the notification and I'd probably.
He owns his masters.
Yeah.
He wouldn't fuck you over. I guarantee as an artist, this is just what I assume. I guarantee Tory Lanez, like since he's like completely disassociating himself from like all those industry guys, I guarantee that he is probably like a very good person to work with, and he doesn't want to be on bullshit, and he just wants to talk that real talk. That's just my assumption of him after listening to his album. And yeah, what'd you think of the new album though? That was fucking fantastic. It was great.
I haven't even listened to it. I'm kind of boycotting Tory right now, not because I gave a fuck that he shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. No offense, like I think it's dumb they shot a woman, but
he didn't.
Here's my thing with that. I feel like the whole thing on both sides, Megan Thee Stallion's side and Tory Lanez's side, has just been used to promo, and it happens in the rap game all the time.
Oh yeah, probably. But like
beef between Meek Mill and Drake was a big thing for the longest time, and it's just a stunt, like a publicity stunt, and I have a big issue with that because I think it's a waste of time to like split people up. Like, what about the people that like both Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez that feel like torn now because? So I think that's dumb because like
I still like Meek Mill and Drake.
So.
I still like both of them though.
Yeah.
But when they were like when I took a side when that happened, I was heavily on Meek Mill's side, and then I kind of went back to Drake's side because like I'm an OG Drake fan. Like when Best I Ever Had dropped, I remember going to Walmart with my mom and buying So Far Gone, like literally, and I remember playing the Best I Ever Had in the car. And like it wasn't the clean version, so I got the CD taken away from me. And this is all when I was like 4 years old, and yeah, man. But I considered myself to like both Meek Mill and Drake at the time during the beef. But with Pusha T, nah, I can't fuck with Pusha T. I just can't. Like
I just think he's very ingenuine and fake. That's my issue with him. I mean,
like he's just a crack rapper. All he raps about is crack. Like Freddie Gibbs is way better than him at rapping about crack, and Freddie Gibbs is real about that shit. But Drake was like, "You're not." Did you listen to Drake's diss track to him? He was like, the only people rapping about crack and shit was like your brother. You don't rap about what you do. You rap about what you knew. All this type of shit. Like Drake was calling him out. And Drake, I think Drake has responded to Pusha T about 7 times, but not as an official track. I don't know. I can't mess with Pusha T. I can't.
Hold up, let me pull up the exact lyric here so I can tell you. But Two Birds, One Stone, one of my favorite Drake tracks of all time. This is Pusha T on that too, and he talks about, oh yeah. It's you made a couple chops and now you think you chopo. If you ask me though, you ain't lining the trunk with kilos. You bagging weed, watching Patino with all your like this what we need to be on, but you never went live. So like he definitely calls him out about the drug dealing that he talks about all the time. Yeah. And like
Drake doesn't rap about drug dealing and shit, like, but I feel like he's low key like the biggest mob artist of all time. That's my conspiracy theory.
Um, I'm trying to think of what the song is. It's on
Muerta,
what? No, it's the
Mob Ties.
shoot. It's the something about his mama. Drake. You
God's
and the
plan.
Six. That's
You
what
and
it
the
is.
Six.
It's You and the Six. But he talks about on there. He said, when I started out, they said I was too black, and now I'm not black enough, or something like that. Talking about how like when he started out, everybody was talking about how his music was too hard, and now they say like he's gone soft because he's industry. So like,
Yeah. I think Drake's. I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now. I've always said this before. Drake's the greatest, to ever do it. But anyways,
Drake is pretty good.
but no, I just if you're listening to like Mob Ties and Muerta and also Only You Freestyle, like he just makes a lot of subliminal. And I've actually talked with people. Like I did my research. I just googled is Drake in the mob and looked at 5 pages of Google pages, and I found a video put out by an professional poker player about how he got framed for a shooting because of the OVO people, and that OVO framed him for a shooting, took his jacket, and kicked him out of a nightclub. And he like is this guy named Matthew Marifiotti. He's a cool dude. I got in contact with him. I was gonna do an interview with him about like how he got beat the fuck up by Drake and his goons and shit. And he was like, nah, I'm not about to do an interview about this stuff. And I was like, come on now. But I've done my research, and there's videos of like Drake and Odell Beckham getting in an argument with a waiter in Hollywood, and then Drake gets his bodyguards to take them to the alley, and there's security footage of them beating the fuck up out of a waiter in a bar in the back alley of a restaurant, and like they're spitting on him and shit. And Odell Beckham is just like looking at everything, and it's just like Drake's a shady character, but I feel like he wouldn't rap about it even if he did it because he just wants to put on the persona of a soft lover boy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just something I like to get paranoid about and get. That's my conspiracy theory shit. Do you fuck with any conspiracy theories and shit at all?
Not really. I mean, yeah, I'm not big on conspiracy theories. Like, I'm kind of like the show me the proof type guy. Like,
There you go.
I gotta have evidence before I like believe it.
Yeah. So have you ever dived into the 3-6 Mafia influence on trap? Ever considered it?
No, I have not.
All right. Well, you know how like you said earlier how everything's focused on the what do they call it, the snare or whatever
Yeah, the snare's been pretty big in drill music. Yes, sir.
and trap in general.
Yeah, trap too.
Yeah, trap and drill are very fused together. It's very interlaced, but there is a difference at times. But what would you like? I'm just gonna like, I don't know. Maybe I'll send you a link to this. But listen to like, 3-6 Mafia Tear the Club Up. I'm not gonna play it right now. Obviously, fucking copyright strike. But give a listen to that. I'll DM it to you. Anyways, let's get to a more like since it's coming to the end of the year. It's October. Let's talk about favorite albums of the year so far, because you swiped up on my story. We were talking about we were debating this. Let's talk about this. So favorite album of the year. Go. Give me 5.
All right, top 5. All right, let me look at the top albums here because I can tell you my number 1 or my top 2 here. Which I mean, Savage Mode is probably my number 1 as of right now because that was heat. Even because that was the wild thing. Like honestly, second favorite like track on the entire album was the interlude to Snitches and Rats, and it wasn't even 21 Savage. It was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
He was talking about the difference between Snitches and Rats. And that was just fire. So I would say that, and then Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial are definitely my top 2.
It's 2019, bro.
Oh, that's true. It dropped right before. It dropped like December 27th or something like that. Shit. Eternal Takes definitely in my top 5, but I definitely think it was overrated. Definitely not Uzi's best albums by any means.
Bro, why does everybody think the deluxe is better though?
The deluxe is definitely better, and it's because of the features.
Come on, I'm the opposite. I'm a guy who just hates features on. Like I'm a guy who likes. I don't know. I like the way the Eternal Takes structured. Like I fuck with the structure of it and how there's like 3 different sections of it, and the I don't know.
Yeah. Shoot. I'd say 21 Savage's new album, Savage Mode 2, which that's with Metro Boomin as well. I'd say Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial is number 2. My Turn, and then
Yeah, I used to hate My
I'd say it's
Turn.
kind of like a toss up. Yeah, My Turn, Lil Baby.
I used to hate it, but then I got into it and I was like, damn, bro.
I'd say the deluxe on that one is also better than
Yeah,
the original drop. And
that one, John.
yeah. Oh yeah, the uh, whistle and
We paid,
shoot, I
right?
can't think of
Is it We
artist's
Paid?
name.
42 Doug, yeah.
Yeah, it's 42 Doug. That's who it is. I've never listened to 42 Doug other than that song. So, but yeah, My Turn. Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial is number 2. Then my Turn. Then it's kind of a toss up, but I'd say 4 and 5 would definitely be Eternal Take and Legend Never Died. I like Legends Never Die, but I definitely feel like it's not Juice's best work. I feel like there were better songs that Juice had released at earlier times. Same with Eternal Take. I feel like they were both overhyped for
Yeah.
Juice because Juice died in 2019. So I feel like there was a lot of like hype simply because he died. And same thing with X. Same thing happened with X. X had a lot better songs, but the ones that he's known for right now are the ones that released after he died. And I hate that for Juice and X because like I know, I mean I don't know because I've never met him, but I feel like there are definitely songs that they would have liked to be like popular that aren't popular simply because the
Yeah.
new albums. And with Eternal Take, I felt like a lot of the songs are just they sound the same. That's my issue with Eternal Take, and I feel like Uzi does that a lot. And it's no offense to him, his flow is just very. I mean, I don't want to say it's generic because I feel like he came up with his own flow, but because of how like overpopulated, I kind of want to say, I don't know the better word for that, but the rap game came with like the heavy auto tune, that like video game almost like style, like rap, like the Uzi style, like
He was
you
a
know what
true
I mean?
pioneer.
Yeah,
He
I'll
was.
definitely give him that. Like the only guy that I can think of like that hasn't been a true pioneer for their sound really, that's really popular right now is artist BTL and Lil TJ, which that's A Boogie and Lil TJ. But
Yeah, they're not. They're
both of
not.
them
They're
have
good, but
that
like
very
they're not the great
yeah.
unique shit. Like,
I fuck with both of them, but both of them have a very like heavily Speaker Knockers influenced vibe. Like
oh
Speaker
yeah,
Knockers
without
started
Speaker
that.
Knockers or PNB Rock, there is no A Boogie. There's no Lil TJ. There is no who's next? Who's next? Give me Rod Wave sounds like Rod Wave. You can't diss Rod Wave, bro. Like,
Yeah, but there's quite a few artists that and Uzi is definitely the same way that Speaker Knockers has been because there's a bunch of artists that have just like popped up off of Uzi's sound. Like they've got the same like vibe. Like so.
what do you think of Trippy though?
Trippy, I fuck with Trippy. I mean, I don't listen to him a whole lot. Like, honestly, the majority is when it's like other artists are featured on his tracks or he's featured on other artists' tracks. But
So you'd like Six Kiss?
Six Kiss is fire.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs from 2019, probably.
And he has a lot of epic what was that? What are those guys called? The Internet Money, the Taz Taylor, Nick Mira.
Oh yeah, Nick Mira vibe. Yeah,
They work
like,
a lot with Trippy. They did Fuck Love. They did Six Kiss. They did
They worked with Juice a lot too. They work with who else?
Juice
Ian
is
Dior.
Yeah, Ian Dior. Mentioning Ian Dior, he did a recent collaboration with one of my favorite up and coming artists who I've been listening to since like early last year. Nobody really fucked with him. Early last year. Not late last year, but anyways, 24K Golden. He is spectacular. Like, I mean, he doesn't have the most original sound, but he did that XSL freshman freestyle with Mulatto and Fabio. That chemistry on that, give that a listen. Beautiful.
Who was your favorite out of the XXL freestyles?
Jack Harlow, 24K Golden, Fabio because he added a lot of ad lib. Like I didn't like his freestyle, but he was like in the background while everybody else was rapping. He was like bow, bow. like kind of like similar to
Drill ad-lib.
yeah, he was doing those ad libs or whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah. So also, who else? There's
Polo G was my
TJ had an
number one.
alright one.
Polo G was my number one. Polo G should have definitely been on the freshman list from last year. Definitely, like,
Yeah.
they messed up on not putting him on the last one.
Yeah, like February last year, I remember seeing him on someone's story. Like every story I looked at, there was like, what was that one song? Pop Out at Your Party.
Yeah, Pop Out with Lil TJ, yeah. Right. See, that's the thing, like, and honestly, I'm not gonna say I messed with him because I didn't mess with him like back then, but even before he like got big off his melodic music, like he was pretty big in Chicago just simply off of like his Chicago drill vibe. Like,
Yeah.
you listen to old Polo G and it's like hard, like Lil Durk, King Von type, like.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give a couple albums of my favorite albums of the year, and I want to know what you think. I want to know if you heard these ones. So album of the year, I'm gonna, besides the big ones that you named, like Eternal Take Savage Mode 2, they're definitely my top 10. I got Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist.
Haven't heard it yet.
That Pop Smoke's one was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I'd say it's in my top 10, but not my top 5.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just gonna open my fucking the sound thing that shows.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing. I can't remember which ones were like late 2019 and which ones were 2020. These 2 years.
Okay, that Sleepy Hollow joint, the Sleepy Hollow one, Sleepy for President.
I've seen you post about him, but I haven't listened to Sleepy Hollow at all.
Mac Miller Circles.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
I didn't feel like I feel like this year honestly like the albums overall weren't as good as like previous years, but like Mac Miller's really good, but I didn't feel like Circles was like his best work. Like I feel like he's definitely dropped better albums.
I'm gonna go with a Schema Posse's The New Age. So Schema Posse is one of the original groups that Lil Peep was a part of before he started Goth Boy Click. And with that album, they reformed starting with Jay Green, and they got new members such as Lil Zav, no more Lil's on that, just Lil Zav, and Sempra. But like, I'm gonna play Sempra because he's like not signed. He just uses DistroKid. But I'm gonna get an interview with like a lot of members of Schema Posse, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, but like
with Lil Peep a little bit. Like I wouldn't say I'm like a heavy fan. Like I don't listen to a lot of it. But...
he's a pioneer of his style.
Oh yeah.
He was like at the same time, X was doing that style. Nah, X kind of got into it later though. He didn't get into that emo.
X didn't start out with X was his own, like he almost had like that alternative sound when he first like blew up as a SoundCloud rapper.
The more scream.
Look at Me definitely had that alternative like rap sound, like it was definitely in your face.
But Lil Peep was like doing that shit since the beginning, like since 2014. Like he was doing that emo, that guitar based, and he was doing that since the beginning. I'm not saying he's the inventor of it, but he was the first one to try and popularize it and make it mainstream. And without Lil Peep, there would not be a lot of art. But when I interview them, and I don't know if they're gonna be watching this, but when I interview them, I'm not gonna be like, so did you know Lil Peep? Like I'm not gonna ask them about some guy that's died or past members of the group. Like I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna ask them about any of that shit. Like I don't want to mention someone that's dead just for clout. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, definitely.
What I love about a young NBA YoungBoy is that when he was asked about Nipsey Hussle, he was like, I'm going to keep it real. I don't know him. I never knew him. Prayers go out to his family, but I never knew him, and I never really listened to his music. Like, that's like, I'm not going to be asking them about fucking people.
Respect for that. Like, I really fuck with Nipsey, but, like, respect for that. Because, like, I won't speak on anybody dead that I never knew. Like,
yeah. All right, listen to this real quick. I got a speaker.
All right, cool.
Turn it up.
I just want to make some fucking rich big stacks. Never making it back. Another motherfucker money when I get in the track. I'm giving it back to the ones that be
All right, what do you think?
That was pretty fire. I fuck with it.
He's from New
Fuck with it.
Zealand.
I've worked on a couple beats like that, like for rappers like that. I've been trying to get better at that.
What would you consider that style to be?
Shoot, I would say. See, that's such a morph style though, cause like it almost has that Suicide Boys like City Morgue like.
I
style
love
to
City
it.
Morgue, bro. Fuck. Bro, you got me
Bro.
hyped.
I just got into that too. Like I hadn't even heard of City Morgue. I watched a YouTube video on City Morgue type beats, and I was like, "Yo, I fucks with this." Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's got that vibe. Like the vocals definitely
Have
have
you
that
seen
vibe,
their
but it's
music
got that
video?
emo rap vibe to it as well.
Yeah.
What?
Have you seen their music videos?
No, I've not.
So, and by the way, they were in early collaborators with 6ix9ine.
Yeah, I knew that one of them ghost wrote for 6ix9ine before they had like a falling out.
They like, yeah, 6ix9ine started off doing boom bap shit. Like actually, like he was doing that boom bap shit, and then like he found and then he just like there's early clips of this shit, and then they just kind of ghost wrote a lot of his stuff. They didn't ghost write Gummo or any of his bigger songs. They ghost wrote the songs. Let's just say they ghost wrote the songs that got him to get the attention of Trippie Redd.
Yeah.
Which got the finder's fee for 6ix9ine. Anyways, yeah, check out a couple of City Morgan Zilla Kami's music videos. There's like people doing heroin. There's like people riding skateboards that are lit on fire. There's like dog fights and shit, and it's just like so like I want to be there, but I don't want to be there. You know,
Yeah.
like
Pure anarchy. Like, but yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely had that like sound to his vocals, but the beat he had that Lil Peep like emo rap type beat. So like, whereas like City Morgue, their beats have that heavy distorted guitar, like DC the Dawn type guitar in the background. Like I was working on a City Morgue type beat the other day.
yeah. So lastly, about favorite albums of the year, I'm gonna put in Young Dolph's Rich Slave. Young Dolph's Rich Slave was
I haven't
beautiful.
listened to it yet. I fuck with Young Dolph, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Big Sean's Detroit 2 was fantastic. Hit
That
Boy
album was
production.
Fire. That was
Dude, the
such a
Friday
good-
Night Cypher.
Dude, that was crazy.
42
okay?
Doug was on that. You said you didn't listen to another song with 42 Doug. He was on that. But
That's true.
and I don't really listen to Logic like that. I've been starting to get into it, but his new album was fire.
I haven't
Very
listened to it. I don't really listen to Logic that much.
the new album has a lot of production from No ID, which did he did a majority of the production on Late Registration with Kanye and Graduation, so it has that feel to it. Even samples a little bit of Kanye, but he has this very like kind of conscious type of J. Cole type shit. Nas's new album. Lastly, let me think. That new Tory Lanez joint, the new Tory Lanez thing. I wouldn't say Bryson Tillers is my favorite. I think it was really good, but like it's not like the greatest shit ever.
Oh, his new album?
It was fire. It was great, but
I haven't had time to listen to it.
Oh.
I've literally streamed for the last how many hours now? 21 hours. I have literally streamed Savage Mode 2 like nonstop.
oh yeah, I've already listened to Savage Mode 2 like 3 times.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Um,
I want to give it more time to digest. Like,
also Dark
before I
Lane demo
start my
tapes.
opinion on it, but it's definitely one of the best.
Dark Lane demo tapes is in my top 5. That Drake.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, a lot of it wasn't new stuff. Like
Oh, I heard
all
half
of
the
this
album
has
before it
been
came.
released before, but like it was definitely fire Drake. Like,
Yeah.
like this is all like underground Drake that I listened, not underground, but like unreleased type stuff like that he dropped like randomly throughout like periods of time when he wasn't
Yeah.
super popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like yeah, definitely like
Trust Issues, Club
Overlooked.
Paradise,
that was Care
Cam and
Package.
Calabasas.
That was
like,
That was Care Package. That came out last year.
Oh, okay.
I know. I know.
Dark Lane
They're
Demo
both.
Dark Lane Demo Tapes was his newer one that wasn't. Yeah, that had like Desires, like with Future, that type. Yeah,
But
I
Care
listened to that a
Package
little
is
bit.
like amazing though. Like How About Now, Draft Day,
Oh yeah,
Johnny Man's like and
all that stuff that
5
hadn't
a.m. in
gone like
Toronto.
that he had taken off of like YouTube and like Spotify, like he brought it all back because like those songs had disappeared. Like he
The
just
thing
like
is
taken them
there's
off of.
still even more songs that still haven't fucking been released. Like, and they're all still. Anything Drake does is amazing. Like, I'm sorry,
Oh yeah.
it's just a fact. And yeah, let's get a couple last questions. We're gonna wrap this up soon. But let's just do this like quick question that I feel like we should get into is when is the first time you ever made a beat?
Okay, so 4th grade, I had my dad's iPad. I saved up like I'd gotten $10 for like mowing somebody's yard or something, and I spent my $10 on GarageBand and got GarageBand, and I still have them on my SoundCloud. Like they're private, obviously. Like I haven't like really dug into them, but I made like almost like dubstep, like electronic like
Oh
beats.
my
Like
god, what year
they
was
were not
this?
that good. Like they're pretty terrible, but I definitely like I've always liked music
What year
since
was this?
3rd grade or even before that. Like I've always been making music. I probably came out of the womb like making music. Okay, like always been that way. There's actually a video of me. I was still in diapers, so probably one or two. Um, dancing around my it's I got finally convinced my dad to take it off YouTube, but it was on my dad's YouTube account for the longest time. Dancing around my room, I think it was like Beyonce or something like that, playing out of the stereo in my room when I was little, like
Oh,
dancing around my room to Beyonce. Like I've always fucked with music since like day one. Like
that's funny. Man. So also what grade are you in?
I'm in the 10th grade now. I'm a sophomore.
Bro, you younger than me. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I get that
crazy.
a lot. I'm also like 6'3", 6'4", so I
Oh,
definitely
word,
get that a
yeah.
lot when I'm like
Yeah.
around people. Like everybody thinks I'm older than I am.
Yeah. So name a couple of rappers, small and big, that you haven't worked with but would love to work with.
Shoot, that's a big list right there. But small and big. I mean, I'd love to have a DDK like credit. Like I'd love to have a beat with DDK. Like
You'd
I'd
have to make
definitely
some
hook him up
soul
with
shit with them. You'd
a
have to do
free
a
beat.
soul
Like
sample, boom bap. That how. But
yes,
if you want to
sir.
get creative and
He said he's fucked with a couple of my beats. I always send him the links. Like he said he's fucked with a couple of them, but like I'd definitely love to get him on one. So that would be
he's
one of the
in
smaller artists.
he's in Maryland. He lives in Maryland, so I mean,
I've never even like I haven't had that long of conversations with him, but um, but that's awesome. Like he's close. Like he's not that far.
yeah.
Especially for me, like Maryland's like right there. Um, I don't know about Delaware. I don't know the distances to places, but yeah, him for sure. Shit, bigger artist. I'd love to work with like any bigger artist, but I mean, I listened to Roddy Ricch since like 2018, so definitely Roddy Ricch. Like I listened to him far before he like blew up. Like he was still popular, but not like mainstream. If that makes any sense. Like, but shit, who else? I mean, it'd be a dream to work with 40 and like have like a Drake song, cause like
Yo,
he's just iconic. Like the stuff that he does is crazy.
he's the
And
greatest living and he's just the greatest producer of all time ever. Him and Drake are the greatest duo in hip
I'd
hop.
say Metro Boomin. Metro Boomin ranks over him on my list. But
I want it, but all right, but
Metro Boomin, like, it kills me. Like, I know you said you make beats, but I don't know how like into it you are yet. But like, the stuff that he can do like is crazy. Cause like the way he does like Savage Mode and Savage Mode 2, for example, if you listen to the whole album, you can sit it on shuffle play, set your phone down, you can't even tell when a new song comes on because he's able to flow the beats right into each other. They could be completely different beats, but they flow like the instrumental changes like into each other. Now that is crazy hard to do. Like it's hard to end a beat and have it switch up at the end and flow right into like because it's not like he just throws an automation clip in and changes the volume. Like the whole beat changes its like structure. Like it's insane. And but yeah, I mean, RZA is probably like the most iconic producer of all time. But
All
like,
right. Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm gonna do the intro to Method Man when he lists all the members of the Wu Tang Clan. Listen. Wu Tang Clan strikes again. The RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck, Red Corner, Chef, You God, Ghostface Killer, and the Method Man. All right, I'm done.
and then he goes into, is Method Man the same track where he goes into like all the like torture shit that he do to
Yeah,
like people?
dude.
Yeah, he like stick your stick a what is it, like a fire, like a fire poker in the like
Stove and let that
boiling
shit
pot of
sit
water.
there.
Yeah, and then it's like stab your balls with it or something like.
Yeah. No, he said. My favorite is he just says, I'ma sew your asshole tight together and keep feeding you.
Feeding you. Yeah.
And then the beat starts and it's like METHOD. Man, MET. Bro. This is a certified hood classic.
Bro, what's another one? As High as Wu Tang Get is like a classic. Like, anytime I'm stoned, I'm listening to that song. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. RZA's prestigious. He had a Joe Rogan podcast.
Really, I haven't listened to it yet.
It was horrible though because Joe Rogan had one of his friends on. He was like interrupting, so it was less of a RZA interview.
Like that, presidential debate type vibe.
It wasn't an argument. It was just like he was trying to bring up these irrelevant things instead of getting in a. Like there was a couple good parts of it where like RZA was like, to get my first beat making equipment, I would go on the side of the street and sell socks to people. Like he would.
Oh yeah, it's crazy the stuff. He'd walk around with like a tape recorder and just record shit and like sample it. Like, it's crazy the stuff that like he's done. Like,
Yeah.
making wise.
Yeah, like yeah, RZA's, and he did the Kill Bill soundtrack. So where will Mormon be in 5 years?
Yeah, it's a big question. Where does Mormon plan to be? Mormon plans to be producing with Metro Boomin. I mean, I'd like to. Yeah, I don't know if you know who like SG Kid Hazel is. Like, I'd like to be on that type beat. Like, he's signed to like the same label as 21 Savage and works with Metro Boomin like 24/7. Like, that's what I'd like to be on. Like, I'd like to be working with Metro Boomin a lot. I fuck with Metro. Yeah, I'd like to get to the point where I'm, especially in 5 years. That's probably my goal for 5 years from now. I'd like to be to the point where, like, a lot of KBZ, I don't know if you know who that is, but he talked about this a lot lately. He's a producer that's getting bigger. He worked with like Smoke Perp a little bit and like different artists like that. He's talking about how he's big enough now that he doesn't even have to like sell beats on like his BeatStars and stuff like that, because he's getting placements like all the time from like big artists that are buying exclusives from him. I'd like to be on that level in 5 years. So I'd like to, be able to quit selling beats on my BeatStar. I'm making an income from individual talking to artists and getting exclusives with big name artists. Probably mainstream artists that I'd like to work with more than anybody else. Let me think here. Yeah, Roddy Ricch and who have I listened to for a long time? Let me think. Future. I've been listening to Future and Lil Wayne. I know he's kind of old now. Like, I know a lot of people like haven't fucked with his
top 5 ever to exist.
I've been listening to Lil Wayne for forever. Okay, like,
he is the top 5 ever to exist.
Oh, honestly, literally the entire current rap game is inspired by Lil Wayne.
Yeah, like, no doubt. Like, he without him, there's no Young Thug. Without him, there is no Future. Without him, there is no Lil Uzi. Without him, there is no Lil Baby. Without him, there is no Trippie Redd. He is the godfather of the modern sort of.
I mean, if you ask any rapper who their inspirations will be, I can guarantee there will be 2 names on that list. And Lil Wayne and Michael Jackson will both be on that list. Okay? Just because in the past 20 years for the rap game, they have been 2 of like the most. I know obviously Michael Jackson wasn't a rapper, but for just like musicians in general, like R&B and rap both, like that vibe. Michael Jackson and Lil Wayne have been the two most influential artists for sure.
Certified fact. Yeah, but the thing is about mumble rap, everybody attaches this negative stigma against the term mumble rap. Go fuck yourself. Like, oh my god, what it shows is a sort of disoriented energy towards the fact that you're taking certain substances, and it's also a unique sort of melodic format of expressing emotion through rap music. It's not a fucking way of being lazy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
It's
you're
not a way
definitely
of being
gonna have.
lazy.
It's just a more melodic form. I mean, and you're gonna have more focus on the beat, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's just like a style of music, just like anything else. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with R&B people singing. Like
And we
that's
can
just a
credit
style of music.
this
Yeah,
modern mumble melodic style, we can credit that to, let's go with three people: Drake, Lil Wayne, and Kanye. They birthed this sort of,
definitely.
I'd say Lil Wayne kind
Future's
of,
in there too. Future's in there too.
yeah. And we'll add one more. We'll add Speaker Knockers.
I'd say speaker knockers. Yeah, definitely the current style. He's influenced
Those
a
five:
lot of the auto tune.
Speaker Knockers, Drake, Lil Wayne, Future, Kanye. They all inspire the new generation, and this generation's a new beautiful thing, and I just love it's cool to see all this new shit happening. And
I feel like the generation, not gonna lie though, I feel like the current style is slowly coming to an end. I feel like there's going to be a big change soon, because I feel like, not dissing on mumble rap or any certain style, but like a lot of the stuff is becoming very monotonous, and a lot of people are making the same thing over and over again.
it gets old. Yeah, it
So
gets
what's
old.
going to happen is there's going to be a big change, radical change, where everything's going to switch up and something new is going to become popular.
Potentially, you'll be a part of that change.
I hope so.
Yes.
I try to experiment on a daily basis because I know, like, there's one thing's never going to be popular like forever. Like,
Speaking of changing, like the notion that to be an entertainer, what are you? You're an entertainer.
yes, sir.
In an artist, but the notion that you had to move to fucking New York or Atlanta or Hollywood to be like this amazing artist, while it'd be cool as fuck to move there, respect the local people you have around you,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and respect that
I'm
local
definitely
scene before you
moving
get
to New
into it.
York, but far before I decided I was going to be a music producer, I knew I was moving to New York because I've been to New York one time in my life, and it is by far my favorite place on the planet that I've ever been to. New York City is a great place. Okay, like
Yeah. So yeah, and it's cool to see all this new shit changing. Thanks for coming on the show. Who knows? Maybe me and you will work on music someday. I don't know.
oh yeah,
But
for sure. Hit me up anytime, man. I'll definitely
yeah, man.
get to work with you.
So obviously links to Mormon shit will be below. Click on the link if you're an artist listening or watching. Get a beat from him, buy it from him, be a good person, buy that shit from him. Or just get in touch with him, work with him.
Too.
Yeah, it does custom beats. And follow him on the gram and subscribe to him on YouTube. And also, if you're just an average Joe who just does homework and works a lot, he will be releasing something that could be applied to you, which will be a 1 hour lo-fi beats thing, so you can play that while you're studying or doing work. So everybody studies and shit, and I love putting on those chilled cow lo-fi things, and he's gonna be putting out one of his on his own, but strictly produced by him. So subscribe to his YouTube. Links to Mormon shit all below. Thanks for watching, and thanks for coming on the show. We'll talk afterwards when I'm done pressing the record button.
Man.
Yeah. Always fun to have new guests and shit.
Big fan. Thanks, man.
See you guys in the next video.